What drove one of the most admired and mysterious women? Of the 20th century, Jacqueline Kennedy, the widow of a beloved American president, to marry a controversial Greek tycoon and step into a world so far. Removed from the American Camelot she once embodied? Was it a desperate escape, a quest for love, or a calculated move for security and power? In this video, we peel back the layers of Jackie Kennedy's enigmatic life and the Onassis family, uncovering a story filled with glamour and scandal. Heartbreak and intrigue, and a quest for freedom that defied all expectations. In October 1968, Jacqueline Kennedy, the former First Lady of the United States, married Greek shipping magnate Aristotle Onassis, sparking a wave of global fascination and, in some circles, outrage. Jackie, as she was affectionately known, had become a beloved figure around the world. Her marriage to Onassis, a man known for his immense wealth, flamboyant personality, and complex personal history, was both surprising and intriguing. What led Jacqueline Kennedy, the widow of President John F. Kennedy, to step into a world so far removed from the political and cultural milieu of the United States? And what were her years like as a member of the Onassis family? The marriage was, in many ways, a union of opposites. Jackie Kennedy, with her refined grace, American upbringing, and aristocratic demeanor, seemed to contrast sharply with Aristotle Onassis, a self-made Greek tycoon whose rise to fortune was marked by a relentless ambition and shrewd business acumen. Yet both shared a life shaped by tragedy and a constant, almost restless, search for a sense of safety and stability. For Jackie, the marriage offered an escape from the shadow of her late husband's assassination. A desperate attempt to protect her children, and a chance to redefine her identity outside the confines of American politics. For Onassis, marrying the widow of JFK was more than a coup. It was a triumph, a way to cement his status on the world stage and to acquire a partner who brought elegance and cultural cachet to his high-profile lifestyle. After their marriage, Jackie and Onassis entered a whirlwind world that defied the ordinary. The couple split their time between Onassis's various luxurious properties, including his private Greek island of Skorpios, his extravagant yacht, the Christina, and his villa in Monte Carlo. Life for Jackie in the Onassis family was marked by an extraordinary level of wealth and opulence, but also by considerable emotional complexities and a profound sense of loneliness. Jackie's life as Mrs. Onassis was unlike anything she had experienced before. the island of Scorpios became a symbol of her new existence, a secluded paradise that was part sanctuary and part gilded cage. She spent hours alone, walking along the island's private beaches, lost in thought. Her children, Caroline and John Jr., would visit during their school holidays, and Jackie would enjoy a few moments of normalcy as she read to them, played with them, and tried to create some semblance of a family life amidst the opulence and scrutiny that surrounded them. Her relationship with Onassis was complicated. At first, there was a sense of fascination and adventure, and Jackie enjoyed the thrill of being swept away by Onassis's lifestyle, the glamour of his yachts, and the exclusivity of his circles. She attended lavish parties with heads of state, celebrities, and business magnates, and she mingled with the rich and powerful who were captivated by her charm and elegance. Yet there were also tensions that ran deep, rooted in the profound differences in their personalities and values. Onassis, accustomed to commanding every aspect of his world, was often frustrated by Jackie's independence and her refusal to completely adapt to his way of life. Jackie found herself struggling with the cultural gap between her refined American upbringing and Onassis's Greek machismo. While Onassis enjoyed playing the role of the generous and powerful patriarch, Jackie, accustomed to a different kind of social dynamic, often found his behavior overbearing. She was not the kind of woman to simply acquiesce, and this led to frequent arguments. Onassis could be charming and generous, but he could also be controlling and temperamental. He had grown up in a world where men wielded authority without question, and his relationship with Jackie often reflected a clash of two strong wills. She refused to be completely absorbed into his world, maintaining her American friends and continuing to return to New York, where she felt a sense of normalcy and connection to her past. Despite these tensions, Jackie adapted to her new life with grace, navigating the social circles of Europe and New York with her characteristic poise. She learned to speak some Greek, embraced some aspects of the Mediterranean lifestyle, and even found solace in the privacy that Onassis's wealth could afford. However, she was never entirely comfortable in this new role. The marriage was seen by many as a calculated move by Jackie to secure her children's future and to protect herself from the threats and invasions of privacy that had followed her since JFK's assassination. For Onassis, having Jackie by his side was both a prize and a statement of his success. He loved her in his way, but he was also fiercely proud of the status she conferred upon him. The public reaction to Jackie's marriage to Onassis was mixed, to say the least. In the United States, where she had been revered as a style icon and the grieving widow of a martyred president, many saw her decision as a betrayal. The press was harsh, branding her as Jackie O and painting her as a woman who had abandoned her American roots and values for a life of luxury. The American public, who had long viewed her as almost royalty, now seemed confused and in some cases outraged. Friends and acquaintances noted that Jackie seemed surprised by the backlash, which only added to her sense of isolation. She had thought she might find some peace, some sanctuary in this new marriage, but instead, she found herself once again under the microscope, every decision dissected and criticized by the global media. Within the Onassis family, Jackie faced another set of challenges. Aristotle's daughter, Christina Onassis, viewed her new stepmother with suspicion and disdain. Christina, who had a complicated relationship with her father, felt threatened by Jackie's presence and saw her as an outsider who was intruding on family matters. Jackie, in turn, was wary of Christina's coldness and resented the drama that seemed to follow her wherever she went. The two women could not have been more different. Christina was rebellious and emotional, while Jackie was composed and distant. Their interactions were marked by a polite yet unmistakable tension, and they rarely found common ground. Despite these challenges, Jackie made efforts to blend into her new life. She attended business meetings with Onassis, learned about the shipping industry, and even gave input on certain matters. She tried to maintain her independence, frequently returning to New York and staying involved in her children's lives. Her relationship with Onassis was not devoid of affection, but it was far from the romantic ideal that the public often imagined. Onassis was known to have affairs, most notably with the opera singer Maria Callas, and Jackie was aware of his dalliances. For her part, she tolerated these infidelities, focusing instead on the security and privacy the marriage afforded her and her children. Jackie's relationship with Maria Callas was another source of complexity. Onassis had been involved with Callas before he married Jackie, and although their romantic relationship had ended, they remained close. Jackie, with her typical composure, did not outwardly show jealousy, but it was clear that Callas's presence in Onassis's life was a source of discomfort. The two women met occasionally, maintaining a veneer of civility, but there was an unspoken tension that lingered in the air. Callas, for her part, seemed to hold a grudging respect for Jackie, understanding the difficult position she was in, but also resenting the fact that Onassis had chosen another woman over her. Despite these personal and social challenges, there were moments of genuine warmth and happiness in Jackie's life with Onassis. The couple often traveled together, exploring new parts of the world and enjoying the cultural and social events that were part of Onassis's world. Jackie appreciated the luxury and the privacy that his wealth provided, even if she found the constant presence of his business entourage somewhat tiresome. Onassis, for his part, seemed to enjoy showing her off, proud of his glamorous American wife and the status she brought him. However, their marriage began to deteriorate over time. The differences between them, which had initially seemed charming or at least manageable, became more pronounced. Onassis was accustomed to a life filled with control, and he grew frustrated with Jackie's independent spirit and her refusal to completely conform to his expectations. Jackie, in turn, found Onassis's temper and his affairs increasingly difficult to bear. The couple spent more time apart, with Jackie in New York and Onassis in Europe or aboard his yacht, surrounded by his business associates and various companions. The turning point in their marriage came in 1973, with the tragic death of Onassis's son, Alexander, in a plane crash. Onassis was devastated by the loss of his son, who he had hoped would one day take over his business empire. Alexander's death shattered him, plunging him into a deep depression from which he never fully recovered. Jackie tried to comfort him, but there was little she could do to ease his grief. Their marriage, already strained, began to crumble under the weight of this new sorrow. Onassis became more reclusive, turning away from the social life that had once been his lifeblood, and he grew increasingly distant from Jackie. As Onassis's health deteriorated, Jackie found herself increasingly sidelined in his life. She continued to split her time between New York and Europe, maintaining her own social and cultural activities. By this time, she had grown accustomed to the duality of her existence. Part of her life was steeped in the frenetic, glamorous world of the Onassis family, and another part was deeply connected to her American roots, her friends, and her own children. In March 1975, Aristotle Onassis died of complications from myasthenia gravis, a neuromuscular disease that had weakened him significantly in his final years. His death marked the end of a tumultuous chapter in Jackie's life. She was now a widow for the second time, and while Onassis, his passing brought her a sense of sorrow, it also brought a kind of release. She had fulfilled her role in the marriage, weathered the scandals, the loneliness, and the drama, and now she was free to move on, to redefine herself yet again. After Onassis's death, Jackie received a settlement from his estate, which, while smaller than many had speculated, provided her with continued financial security. She returned to New York and began a new chapter of her life, this time as a book editor, a role that allowed her to engage with the literary world and maintain a sense of purpose. The experience of her years with Onassis, with all their contradictions and complexities, had changed her, but they had also reinforced her resilience and her ability to adapt to whatever life threw at her. Looking back at Jackie Kennedy Onassis's years in the Onassis family, it is clear that they were a time of both privilege and paradox. She lived in extraordinary luxury, but she also faced emotional isolation. She found a level of security that she had desperately sought after JFK's assassination, but she also encountered new forms of scrutiny and judgment. Her marriage to Onassis was, in many ways, a practical decision, born of a desire to protect herself and her children, but it was also a decision that came with its own costs. It was a life marked by contrasts between the public and the private, between the American and the Greek, between independence and dependence. In the end, Jackie Kennedy Onassis emerged from her time with the Onassis family as a figure who had navigated yet another complex and challenging period of her life with grace, strength, and an unyielding sense of self.